Good morning. My name is John Talk. I'm privileged to be the rector here at Emmanuel Episcopal Church here in our memorial garden on this beautiful North Carolina spring day. It's hard to believe that it's already the beginning of March and we are looking at the glories of God's creation. We are at our penultimate week. We are the week before the last one for our Beatitudes sessions. We are at verse 10 of chapter 5 of the book of Matthew. Now, as you know, because I say every week, the Beatitudes are core to the teaching of Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount. And the Sermon on the Mount, at least for Matthew, is the core of Jesus' ministry, the core of Jesus' teachings. So we're taking them one by one. We're at the next to the last one. Let's see what Jesus has in store for us today. Today I'm reading from the New Oxford Annotated Bible, which is the Revised Standard Version. Not the New Revised Standard Version, but the Revised Standard Version. Jesus said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Two things really spring into my mind when I read this. The first is a question about what does it mean to be persecuted? The second is, what does it mean to be righteous? Well, we know what persecuted is. It means to be attacked, to be mocked, to be discriminated against, to be thought less than. It means to be put down economically or physically or emotionally or spiritually for the sake of righteousness. But what is righteousness? In its most technical sense, it means being right with God, or perhaps right with oneself, right with the truth. 4 or 5 years ago, I ran across a little book. I pass these out like chiclets from time to time. It's called On Tyranny by Professor Timothy Snyder. Now, Tim is a professor at Yale, but more importantly, he was trained by the Jesuits at the University of Dayton in Dayton, Ohio. And that training gave him, I believe, the basis for this little book. And if you want a copy, let me know. I probably have 5 or 6 sitting in my office. I'm more than happy to give you one. And what the Jesuits taught him and what he teaches us in this little book is that the basis of patriotism, and I would argue the basis of Christianity, really falls into being righteous, to knowing yourself, to knowing what you believe, to knowing what is true, and for being able to stand on your feet with your shoulders back and your head up and to speak the truth, to speak what is right, to speak what you know, to say, no, that's wrong, and this is right. To say, this we have been given to be true, not simply by the biblical text, but by our experience. So when we are right with God, what does that mean? It means that we know with a firm and certain knowledge that you are loved, regardless of who you are. Whether you are you, or you are me, or you are someone else, that you are loved. That you are loved by a God who creates and holds and keeps. That you are made to be treat it with dignity and respect, and to treat others with dignity and respect as well. That you are made to be part of not simply the human family, but God's family. That you are made to be beloved by God and all the members of God's community. These are the truths that we know. And when we put our feet on the ground and our shoulders back and our heads up, and we proclaim these truths to ourselves, to each other, and to the world, that is our righteousness. That is our righteousness. And it is sad but true. It is sad but true that when you speak those words, that God loves, period, you will be persecuted. That there are those in this world, this broken world of ours, who wish that were not true. That when you speak the truth that we need to treat everyone with dignity and respect, you will be persecuted. Because there are those in this broken world of ours who wish that they were not true. When you say to each other, to your brothers and sisters, you are loved by God, and I love you as well, you will be persecuted. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because when you speak those words, you become God's own, not simply today, but forever and ever. Always remember, you are loved, and you are called to be loving. You are righteous, and you are called to make this world right in God's love.